Gentlemen and female gentlemen, welcome to a brand new episode of the Unhinged podcast. I ghosted Hermes last week because I was sick and I could not deal with it. I just couldn't. I didn't have the mental faculties. I was worried, in fact, for my own mental health, that doing a podcast with Hermes would result in my untimely suicide.
Yep. And here's the thing, guys. I want you to remember that. There was no wholesome interaction. Some of you people might be watching this and they might be looking at this like, oh, wait, hold on. I know Hermes was being super wholesome and said nice things to Nux. That's a lie. It is slander. This is the true story. Nux would never lie to you. He was afraid for his well-being. That's why it was canceled.
Hermes was threatening me with a blowjob.
The best thing. Have you seen that SCP video? Oh gosh, what was it? Oh gosh, where's the cum goblin SCP? It's not an official one.
That is the problem with SCP, all right? You have cum goblins, but that is also one of the blessings of SCP. However, there is one creature that has escaped containment, a creature by the name of Pirate Software. Today, I am here with my gamer friend Hermes. I cover the drama shit. Hermes covers the gamer shit.
You underplayed the shit out of that statement.
I did.
You need to embrace the biggest, most throbbing dick stroke you've ever embraced in your fucking life. I am not just a gamer friend. I am the gamer friend. I am the most legendary gamer that has ever gamed on this mortal coil, friend. And so, go ahead, retake number 2. Try that again. Remember, think about your dick, stroke it, the best stroke you ever did. Do that to me.
Whenever you're in the call, my dick gets smaller. It's not easy. It's not easy being me. However, I do have to say, Hermes is not just a regular gamer. She embodies all the worst parts of gaming. She smells bad. She thinks everything is a sexual innuendo. She games. She's toxic. She hates women. She's all of those things all come together in this glorious little cum platter.
Yes. Do you know DPS stands for double penetration sex?
Of course, everyone knows that. But you know who probably didn't know that? Pirate Software. Wow, what a fantastic segue. Did you see that? So I have a lot to say. I have built an entire matrix of shit. The entire Pirate Software drama from the very beginning all the way to recent stuff. A lot of people think that the drama around Pirate Software is he's a little bit smug sometimes. Bit of an egotistical bitch every once in a while.
He's definitely smug. As somebody who is also very egotistical, he is definitely egotistical and smug.
I put together an entire list. This is a documentary in podcast form. We are going to be going through this man's entire goddamn life, dissecting it. And let me tell you why this guy is such a bitch.
Should we have Dio in here? That seems some like stalker level, like Dio level stalker action right there. I just care about the gamer bits.
Yeah, so that's why we need you. We need a gamer's insight into all this shit. Now, listen, I don't hate Pirate Software. I just want to make this clear. I don't hate the guy. I do, however, feel like there are a lot of people that shit on him for cringe reasons. So I have some dramas where I think he was in the right on this entire list. I have some dramas where I think he was in the wrong. And I have one thing that he has done specifically very recently that isn't covered by basically any of the big guys. And I think this is the worst thing he's done. He's bullying small indie game developers and copyright striking them falsely and engaging in frivolous copyright lawsuits to silence criticism, and I think that is despicable. So
yeah, that's actually going to be the thing you're going to need to update me the most on, because still, even when I was looking up stuff, it seems like the most controversy I hear is still regarding the
World of Warcraft.
The World of Warcraft situation.
Yeah. So
which
again,
I've already had a nice hot take conversation about that, so I'm sure everybody will love my hot take conversation about that here too.
That's why we have you. So I wanted to go through the entire timeline and controversies, because I feel like this is the kind of thing that is never actually covered properly by anyone. It's always either a hit piece or a glaze piece, because he's famous and he has beautiful hair and a sexy voice that might be fake. And
yes, disclaimer, I do want to say I still want to have a hair measuring contest with that man no matter what.
All right, we'll see if
it
we
has
can work
to happen.
That out. So anyway,
appreciate it.
Stick around to the end. This video might be taken down at some point, because another thing that Pirate Software is accused of is mass reporting videos critical of him, and they all seem to disappear and get age restricted. A lot of different YouTubers have acknowledged this as a fact, and I am very excited to see if that happens here, because unlike most other YouTubers, I have contacts at YouTube, and this video will stay up.
Hell yeah, networking, business 101, networking, the most powerful powerful thing you could possibly have. Woo!
So a lot of you might know Pirate Software because you might have seen one of his YouTube shorts. He does this thing where he basically pulls up some sort of like MS Paint.
Take your mouse and you put your mouse inside of MS Paint.
And like in a very serious voice that sounds like he knows literally everything about the universe, like Neil deGrasse Tyson level of bullshitting. He will explain something relatively basic in a relatively interesting way that actually manages to hit the YouTube Shorts algorithm and it'll get a bazillion views. And I'll be like,
yeah, that's why when I decide to fire people, I actually look at this and then I fire them and then I tell them, listen, do you know why I'm firing you right now? And then they'll say, no, I don't. And I'll be like, that is your mistake exactly. You should be able to analyze why I would want to fire you. That is why you deserve to be fired.
And like that'll get 4 billion views on YouTube Shorts because it's, oh my God, he literally just solved the Matrix.
I mean, based. I mean, people should get fired if they deserve to be getting fired.
I mean, the point that I'm trying to make is he'll say a relatively basic thing. He'll put like a relatively like logical twist to it, and he'll draw it in MS Paint, and it'll get 1 million views on YouTube Shorts. That's how this guy rocketed to fame. He also, like every other good YouTuber, that's
hold on.
No,
I'm sorry, my imagination just went wild there, but I just had a vision where Pirate Software, whenever he fires somebody, he literally brings somebody into a room and he has a whiteboard, and then he just draws like MS Paint style to tell them why they got fired.
Oh my God, that would be incredible.
See, like this red line over here, that one's you, and this blue line over here, that one's me, and this purple line over here, that one's Blizzard. You see, you didn't steal enough breast milk from the refrigerator.
That is the greatest fucking way to fire somebody. Here I'm a lazy Chad. Whenever I fire somebody, I'm just like, hey, listen, you done fucked up. Here, you're fired. Have a good day. And then they get mad at me, and then that's that. But yeah, I really should step it up. I should bring in MS.
Bring out the MS Paint. Break it out. Slap it on the table.
Yeah, continue. My imagination went wild there for a second. But
do you know what you did and start drawing arrows?
Yeah, arrows. The bigger the arrow, the more egregious the crime.
True. Yeah. So anyway, you know how every big YouTuber likes to quantify their levels of experience with like titles? Lawyer reacts to Better Call Saul. Doctor reacts to House. You know what I'm talking about? You have like everyone
clickbait.
The clickbait where people qualify their shit. So his qualification is 20 years of experience working for Blizzard. So he's basically some sort of gamer coder god. All of a sudden, everything he says like in this universe, somehow it is worth so much more now because, well, he has 20 years of experience in coding and making games, so he always has the correct take. And he has like that smugness and the way he introduces things and that confidence that you just believe him. And it's like, well, he has 20 years of gaming experience. Who the fuck am I?
True. I mean, the only reason that I'm above this is because I'm actually a god gamer. I'm literally a goddess who has dedicated this entire generation to playing every single video game ever. So obviously the hierarchy is me, then Pirate Software, and then, every other gamer, and then some other normies, and then probably you. Yeah, you're probably at the very bottom.
Yeah,
what games do you even play?
I play the game of Vtube. It's a fun game. They cancel you cancel them.
Rings. I know you played Elden Rings.
Bro, it's Elden Ring, singular. That's despicable shit. I can't believe you would
Elden
do that.
Rings.
It's Elden Ring.
There's
Elden
not
Ring.
Multiple rings.
Elden Ring. For the love
multiple
of God.
rings to rule them all. Did it get thrown into a volcano, or am I thinking of a different timeline?
You're thinking of a different, very Elden Ring. Okay, but anyway, so the thing is, his job that he had at Blizzard, known for sexual violence and stealing breast milk, that's a discussion for another day. He actually got that job as a Nepo baby. His dad worked at Blizzard, pulled him in to do like incredibly basic testing shit, not really coding shit, but he did manage to find a way to package it as 20 years of gaming industry experience, which definitely sounds good. And also another very fun fact is, did you know that Pirate Software's dad is the guy from the South Park like World of Warcraft things, like the fat guy sitting in the chair with like flies buzzing around? That meme?
I literally just learned that literally today while I was sipping my coffee because I pulled up Tom's video and I was like, oh, I had no idea.
Oh, Turkey Tom?
Yeah.
Yeah, he makes good videos. He doesn't have the DMCA thing in his video. I actually checked because no one's talking about this one, and I think it's probably the most egregious thing he actually did. Well,
it's actually funny though. This is gonna be my hot take on that conversation. I kind of miss the days when Blizzard could be less serious about its fucking self and do shit like that. South Park is based.
True, South Park is.
I remember the WoW episode. It even hit harder because I literally played WoW back then. So you're about to get the biggest, most. I played vanilla.
So
not
you actually
classic.
have insight in this whole situation.
Oh, I know life.
Oh,
World of
I am
Warcraft.
so excited.
Vanilla.
I'm gonna be
Oh,
happy to hear what you have to say. All right.
Oh, yeah.
Now,
Anyways, continue. Yeah,
one
I'm
of the
listening patiently.
things that he did in Blizzard, aside from making believe he was coding video games, is he actually went by an alias. So right now, his name is not Thor, but he makes sure people call him Thor. It's pretty badass. It's a cool name. I respect it. He has people call him Thor, but he went by a different name in the past. And if you say this name in his chat or in his YouTube comments or on Twitter, he will block you and ban you. So know this name with your own risk. He used to go by Maldavius Fig Tree, and he was a massive furry.
So?
It's very funny. He's very like insecure about it, which makes me laugh.
I mean, I'm gonna be real with you though. Like, is this a lost art or something?
No, I don't give a shit about this. It's just very funny that he like.
It's
like,
common
dude,
knowledge
let me
that
explain
super
something.
rich like tech people were all furries. We all know that, right?
All right,
Like
that is valid. However, I am fully on board with embracing the cringe. If I had some sort of past persona, Maldavius Fig Tree, and that was like a known thing, I would fucking lean into that shit.
I wonder why Fig Tree. Like,
That's a
I
good question.
genuinely.
You should ask him.
I really would actually like to ask.
He might
him.
ban you,
I'm
though.
curious. Yeah, I know that would actually suck because I want to measure my hair against his. This is a very important quality.
I
Like,
understand.
yeah, I think my hair is longer, but everybody's saying otherwise. So this is
He does have
by
nice
principle.
hair.
It does.
And
he
a
does.
very sexy, deep voice, which, if you look up old clips of him at different conventions, is not at all how he sounds. He, in fact, had a very nasally voice, a light, high-pitched, nasally voice. And people...
Oh, like ours. Everybody makes fun of us for our high-pitched nasally voice, Nux.
What do you mean ours? We do not have... What's ours? Ours? What is this ours shit?
People,
this is like saying
people
we're pregnant. Bro, no, bitch,
Yeah,
we're not pregnant.
ours. We're making sweet, nasally voice love together.
Listen, my sweet, sexy, nasally voice is different because my sweet, sexy, nasally voice comes from a long tradition of Jewish nasally voices. Okay, so
Oh no, is that a Jewish quality? Am I secretly Jewish and I didn't know it?
That is not the DNA test that figures that shit out.
Are you sure? I have a nasally voice though.
That's not the end all.
I'm Jewish.
Are you
Hold on,
circumcised?
Yes.
Well, in that case, you got me there. All right, but anywho,
And my dick is still bigger than yours, even circumcised.
You and Michelle Obama. Anyway, people asked Pirate Software, what's going on? We saw old clips of you, and it turns out you had like a very nasally voice. And you know what his response was?
What?
He went through a second puberty at the age of 33.
Hot. I don't know what that means.
It means he's probably faking his voice.
Oh, okay.
Which again is fine. I don't care. It's just funny because he's like so insecure about this stuff. And I know it's bad form to be picking at other people's insecurities, but I disagree.
Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, because don't VTubers do that all the time too anyways? Like, they can do all kinds of stuff with their voice. They do that normally.
And no one gives a shit, okay?
Yeah.
Because it's like obvious. When people do the like high-pitched ooh-ooh voice, like obviously that's fake.
You want to hear my Valley Girl voice? Oh my gosh, Nux, you are so silly. I cannot believe that you did that. Have you checked out Becky's ass? Oh my gosh.
So,
there's gonna be
so many things wrong with that. First of all, notice how you asked me if I wanted to hear it, and then you did it anyway. Okay?
Yeah, that was a
that was a violation of my consent.
That was a rhetorical question. We learned about what the word rhetorical means earlier today. That is called the reverse Uno card. Get wrecked. You shouldn't bring rhetorical into the equation.
I say the word rhetorical, and now you fucking sex tape me? What are you doing? This is rhetorical violation of consent. Oh God! Listen, I'm just some guy. I'm just some dude, male feminist here.
True. I see that.
Anyway, now he has been known for something in the gaming sphere long before any of this went down. This is when he was popping off doing YouTube shorts and stuff, but even before that, he was actually creating a game called Heartbound.
I heard something about that.
So
I don't know too much about it, but
Heartbound is, and I know this is going to be controversial to a lot of people that want to make believe it's not, but it is an Undertale knockoff. And as the biggest Undertale fan of all time, that's me. Did you ever play Undertale?
Of course I've played Undertale.
Thank God I knew we were friends.
Like, I'm like 1,000 times more gamer than you ever will ever be. Of course I played Undertale. Okay. That's crazy.
All right, okay, valid. You are more of a gamer than I am. That is a fact. That's why we need
by
you
1,000%.
By you know, something at least.
Is there like, hold on, is there like videos of fucking like this game? Because I've never even seen. I just heard that it existed.
You're wrong. It didn't exist. It was in production for the last decade.
Oh, so wait.
Every year, huge announcement. The game is happening. It's finally coming. The next year, we're making progress. The next year, this is the year. The next year, we're doing it. See what I'm saying?
Oh, that sucks.
It's like
in every way.
It's like the yandere dev of the game. Less cringe than yandere dev. Okay, less cringe. Everyone loves Thor. We love him. He has glorious hair, deep voice. Moldavia's fig tree. He's cool.
That is about as deep of an insult as when somebody called me a fucking gamer journalist. Oh, my pain.
Honestly, I don't know who's worse. Gamer journalists or yandere dev.
It's a hard, dude. That rabbit hole kept getting deeper and fucking deeper real quick, and I was like, that's so sad.
No, but the amount of drama that spiraled out of this heartbound thing, like, I'm pretty sure this one. I'm not exactly sure this happened, but I'm pretty sure MatPat played Heartbound, and he played it like on his live channel, like the demo. And instead of titling the video Heartbound, because no one ever fucking heard of Heartbound, why is he gonna title it Heartbound? He was like Undertale clone or Undertale 2 or something like that. That was his YouTube title. Like, this new Undertale is crazy. I don't remember exactly what his title was, but it was calling the game like Undertale adjacent. And actual massive meltdown happened on Twitter. How dare he belittle the work of this small game dev who's working on Heartbound by calling it Undertale knockoff. And MatPat doubled down. He said, listen, if I put Heartbound in the title, I ain't getting no views on this shit.
Time out. Undertale was also built by like a team of 3, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure.
So basically, he doubles down. And then after he doubles down, Toby Fox, the creator of Undertale, says, bro, MatPat, that's pretty bad form. You should credit the original game. And MatPat instantly folded. Retitled the video, I'm so sorry, you're so right, King. And
Toby Fox, the real legend.
Yeah, and that's basically what happened there. It's a total nothing burger situation. I don't think MatPat should have folded. Again, I love Toby Fox. With all due respect, I disagree with him. I do think you should credit Heartbound for sure, but titling the game Undertale 2 is going to bring in views. If you title the game something that no one ever heard of, it's not going to bring in as many views. Ultimately, that I think is the goal, bringing in the views.
To be fair, I will play devil's advocate on this one. It's pretty normal in gaming, like the gaming scene on YouTube and stuff. You will make your title, and then in brackets, you actually put the title of the game. So like he could be like, this is Undertale 2.0, and then in brackets, you would say like Heartbound or whatever. Like you generally always bracket the title of the game as a means of like showcasing. He probably should have done that, but I don't think he was obligated, because a YouTube title could be literally anything. Yeah, true. I mean, nobody's obligated to do anything as America's First Amendment freedom of speech or whatever is pretty much saying.
The title of this YouTube video is probably going to be Pirate Software is 100% fucked. But realistically, he's probably only about 84% fucked, and it's by a fig tree.
How big is a fig tree?
They're not so big, actually. They're relatively small.
Fig tree is such an interest. Like, I need to know the lore. Of course, it's probably never going to happen now. You've probably fucked my entire chances of being able to measure my hair against
It's not true. Pirate Software will listen to this well-reasoned video full of heartwarming and legitimate criticism, and he will take it in the best possible way, and he will not freak out and mass report this video to the YouTube authorities.
I'm gonna laugh if I get a DM from both Pirate Software and Asmongold, because didn't Asmongold also report on this or like talk about this?
We're getting to the Asmongold segment. Don't you worry.
Yeah, they're gonna be like, damn, that Nux, who knows about that guy, but you, girl, we could use one of you in our life. How about we have a conversation?
Are you just gonna fucking sit here and glaze Pirate Software the whole time?
Glazing Asmongold, actually, but I mean, who knows? You gotta convince me why I shouldn't.
Listen, I don't know. Asmongold owes me a great debt, because Asmongold's #1 hater wrote Asmongold an entire email, a manifesto against me. That's right, yours truly, Nux.
That's pretty legendary.
He wrote a Nux manifesto and sent it to Asmongold and said, I know I'm your biggest hater, but I don't hate you nearly as much as I hate Nux. So I am willing to drop my sword against you as long as you make this Nux manifesto video.
We're enemy of my enemy. Yeah, by the way, I think that hater of yours also saw the podcast. Of course he did. Because
he watches all of our video. He watches every single video I make. He's a legitimate actual stalker.
There was actually a time where I was always getting 1 dislike on every single video. The moment my video showed up, I was getting a dislike. And then I saw your video about how this person got banned, and all of a sudden after that, I haven't haven't had that one dislike on every video.
Interesting. How did that happen?
Yeah, that was crazy. I did the fucking I did the meme where I looked at your video title, and then I looked over at my YouTube analytics, and I was like, huh. What a coinky dink that is, huh?
Yeah, pretty weird how that happened.
Yeah. Anyways, continue on.
Anywho, so a lot of drama surrounding Heartbound. I don't want to say it's a scam, the fact that he's now basically a full-time content creator and not really working on Heartbound anymore, even though he actually had GoFundMes and shit. And I think based on my recollection, and Heartbound never is actually seeming to happen. And even if it does happen, it's taking many more years than promised, and that's
I definitely
tad
don't
slimy.
like that.
I'll be real here. That is the crypto scam of the video games industry.
Yep, he's not the only one that has pulled stuff. Like, if you commit to making a Kickstarter and like people are investing in you with their money, like you have an obligation to complete the work within a timely manner. Like, unless this game is the most god tier video game ever to exist, and there's like some long list of reasonable reasons, which I doubt that's the case. Like, I actually because he's not the first one to ever do it. I've seen this multiple times in the video gaming industry. People are like, I want to start a game, kickstarting, and then it's just like it never happens, or the end product is nowhere close to what it was like pitched as. Like, I really hate that, because so many people, they see that idea and they believe in that idea, and they pour their money and their hard work like into it, and then it's like, no. And that does bother me. It does bother me a lot, actually. That is a negative tally.
I think A, he needs to be transparent about when Heartbound is happening. B, he makes a shit ton of money at this point through YouTube and streaming. He could genuinely refund the people that donated to his game if he actually doesn't plan on finishing in a timely manner. I don't expect him to do either of those two things. I kind of expect him to just put that in the background. But I'll be real, like, a lot of people are, every time some YouTuber promotes a crypto coin, like, they instantly jump down their throat, as they should. I think it's despicable shit, as someone that's never promoted anything like that. But also running a GoFundMe for something that really your major effort is not even remotely going into making that a reality years after it was kind of promised, like, it's definitely a pretty sussy thing.
Especially given the circumstance. He likely has a lot of money, right? Like, he's a very big content creator. Let's not fool ourselves on that front. So he could literally afford, even if it's out of his own pocket, that's how business works. When you start up a new business, you are in the red in the beginning. So if he's even taking his his personal funds to hire a small team of like 3 or 4 people. Again, Undertale, if it's really an Undertale clone or whatever, like, Undertale was made with 3 to 4 people.
It was genuinely, Undertale was made by like one main guy and then another guy who did a couple of things.
Yeah, so get a team of 4 people, get an artist, get a programmer, get a storyteller, and then just be like, okay guys, make a video game, give me the progress report, like X amount, like once a month or something, or more, depending on what kind of boss you want to be.
I mean,
and then
honestly, I don't know. Obviously, some people that are, let's say, game developers, they want to be the one to create it themselves. They want to, I don't know. But the point is, he's streaming right now in front of 10,000 people on Twitch. Like, dude, ad revenue alone could pay for this game.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, he could literally just make a team.
The fact that he's not
he could be a part of that team.
But he's not even acknowledging the fact that there are years of donations and promises that were not really kept. It's whatever. I'm not calling him a scammer. I don't think he's a scammer. I just think
it's a gray area.
It's a gray area.
It is, especially in the gaming sphere, because games can take an extremely long time to make, depending on how much like heart and soul you want to put into it. Because like even Carnage is like involved in helping make a video game, and if you want to pour a lot of heart and soul into it, it will take a long time. But there should be a level of transparency, because that's what does. Like, has a lot of transparency in regards to like what's going on and everything like that. And
it would be very, very nice and welcome. And I know he has 20 years of experience at Blizzard. It's a little shitty. It is.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I wouldn't say scam, but I wouldn't say kosher either.
Yeah.
Anywho, if you question him, you are a villain. Now, there is a certain massive lawsuit situation that's been going around in the world. Have you ever heard of Stop Killing Games?
Yeah. I don't know too much in the depths. I heard that it caused quite the controversy.
Yes, it did. And you know why it was controversial?
Why again?
Because of pirate software. Now, let me tell you what Stop Killing Games is. Stop Killing Games is a movement created by someone who we had on our podcast once, and it was basically it was a movement against video games that the studio just shuts down because it's not worth it for them to keep it over. Live service games that are supposed to be indefinite, that people are pouring money into for their character or their whatever, and the game is supposed to be an indefinite open world game or whatever, but at some point there aren't enough players, and at some point the company is like, we are losing money by keeping this game up, let's just kill it. They pull the plug, the game is dead, and now it's a live service game that stops. You can't play it. There is no offline mode. So all the money and shit that you poured into that game, not only can you never access it, but you can't play it ever again.
Yeah. That's actually an extremely huge controversy that's happening.
So Stop Killing Games is basically a movement saying that if I buy a game, I am buying this game for its use indefinitely, and you can't just kill the game now and all the money that I put into it. That is the movement. Stop Killing Games.
Yep. Yeah, and I think that has definitely been a huge thing for an extremely long time, because especially with, now I love Steam. I think Steam is a great platform, blah blah blah, but you are essentially buying games as a service, which means if the platform ever shuts down, you in theory lose all those games. Now what Steam does is you're actually allowed to download all these games. I don't think a lot of people ever do, but like you can literally download them off of the Steam platform and all this other stuff. But I know you're talking that's kind of an adjacent thing, but it is kind of talking about like the evolution of how this happened, because essentially we went from consoles where we owned the game. No matter what, we always had the disc. We put the disc in the game.
True.
We could always play
20 years later, you still have the disc.
Yep, you still have the disc. You can still play the game. Then there's like the games that you buy through platforms now, like Epic platform, the clients now, which we don't technically own. You're like renting to play. And then there's a step farther, which is the live service games, is what the whole controversy was referring to.
Yep.
Which the thing about live service games, there is a push and pull on this situation, is live service games absolutely do take resources in order to rent servers and everything like that. So if nobody is playing the server, then it's like the company is it's a business. The company is of course going to shut down the game. However, and this is where I do agree, if there should be a patch or a contingency plan, a contingency plan that essentially says we will make the game available in a offline state. Yes.
Correct.
Yes. If it's
so basically what you're saying, you are pro the movement of Stop Killing Games, because that's basically what they want. They want a game. They want you to not be able to just remove a live service game from existence, and everyone that puts stuff into that, they just lose all that forever. They want to be able to convert that to an offline game. Pirate Software is against it. Stop Killing Games. He came up with, honestly, from my perspective as someone that's not super in the know, a relatively bad faith argument, saying that it's bad for developers and Stop Killing Games will stop all future games from being made because developers will be too scared to make them and be stuck on the hook forever.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm super summarizing here. He made like a 15-minute video about it, but it was a relatively bad faith video from my perspective, criticizing everyone and kind of misrepresenting the arguments of the Stop Killing Games people a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I remember looking over the Stop Killing Games, and there was like parts that I did disagree with, but I also don't necessarily agree with like Pirate Software's take on that either, because I think a step in the right.
But also the worst part about his take isn't even necessarily his opinion. It's the way he says it so smugly about how.
Oh yeah, of course I'm against Stop Killing Games. They literally want to stop all future game developers from ever making games. I have 20 years of experience in game development. No one should ever do something like this. They don't understand. They're fools. Their IQ is so low, they don't even understand that this is ending the gaming industry as we know it. It's like, that is the level of intensity that he gave it across.
Yeah, it definitely wouldn't end the gaming industry for sure. But my philosophy on certain things is like, I'm somebody who small steps in the right direction are better than doing nothing at all, which I think there's this like big thing happening right now where there's so much extremism where it's like people want a full-blown solution or no solution at all. There's no, like, if somebody is taking steps in the right direction, they're like, yeah, these are good points, but this and this, I don't like these, so I don't want to do it because these are bad points. And I'm like, I would rather take 2 steps in the right direction and 1 step back rather than do nothing at all. Because
I mean, I tend to agree for the most part.
Yeah.
I do think that largely the criticism criticism against his stop killing games thing was like his tone a lot.
Yeah.
And I think that's basically what the nail in his coffin is every time. If he just showed like a morsel of humility, like, you know, you make a really good argument. I wish we can come up with some sort of compromise instead of
you are a
like
complete and utter dumb fuck. Is your brain stupid having sex with dumb right now that you're such a dumbass dumb fuck?
Sex with dumb? That's you and me every night. Damn, that's crazy.
Literally not.
Why would you call us out like that? That's wild.
I will never touch you.
You know, every time you keep resisting like this, people speculate that we're together even more because I'm like the only female that you deny.
I deny every female. I will not be chained to one of you. Ugh,
oh, so you're polyamorous? I didn't know.
I have one person that I care about, and that is not you.
Damn,
and I will
that's
and I'm no offense. Don't mean to be rude. Expecting the backstab.
Nope, assassination.
Expecting the assassination.
Yeah,
but the thing about assassination attempts are when they fail, it will only make me stronger.
It's not an attempt. That's not an attempt. It will succeed. Don't you worry about that.
Let's just say the person that I actually do trust, she would destroy you. Holy shit.
Will she choke me?
She is a menace to society, and we love her for it.
Can I have her number?
No. Okay, anyway, moving on.
No. I have been trying. No, you just opened it. You opened the Pandora's box. You have given me the tidbit of information I needed right now. I cannot get you to choke me, but it sounds like this female this glorious, beautiful, amazing, majestic
is
women
too low tech. She would atomize you.
I'm okay with that.
No, you shouldn't be.
Oh gosh, destroy. Tell her Hermes wants her to destroy her.
I will not tell her.
Oh gosh.
She might actually take you up on it, unfortunately.
Please.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on.
I want to be thrashed and dashed and abused. Give it to me.
Are you done?
Yeah.
Are you done?
Hold
there
on.
There is no future here.
No.
Stop
Give it a second.
Get some help.
No, you're chop liver now. You're chop liver. I have another fancy.
Good.
It's this women that you're talking about. It's this one woman that you trust. What do you mean?
You're
excited that
she would blow you up.
Oh gosh, please. Imagining. Okay, I'm good.
All right, I'm glad we got that out of the way. So anyway,
this is just the beginning. We've opened a door.
Speaking of apocalypses, that smugness that he has, where he just so confidently says misinformation, he does it a lot when people actually start looking. Like, for example, when Twitch started the whole adpocalypse thing because of they did like the Arab to Jew tier list on Twitch. Crazy.
Yeah, that was insane.
That was pretty fucking crazy. They banned the entire country of Israel for like a year from making Twitch accounts and silently. They did like a whole lot of crazy shit. And they ended up getting into a pretty big adpocalypse situation where at this point it is fully confirmed by basically everyone that they lost over 70% of their ads. Which sucks if you're on Twitch, which I am not.
Yeah.
And also, unless I'm doing Adventure Time. But
yeah,
also,
I saw that. I know. I swung by. I said hello. I thought you were dying.
It was so nice for you to join the stream. And then I saw you and I was like, oh, maybe I should do her a favor and absolutely obliterate her. And then I decided, no, we'll keep her alive.
Yeah, I got a shout out and everything. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy level
you're
of
great. We love you.
You're happening right there.
You're pretty great. We love you. We love
See?
you.
Clip it, guys. Clip it. He said it. He said he loves me on multiple
I said we. We. In a completely platonic way. Super platonic.
Clip it out of context. Here we go. Anyways, continue.
So anyway, while the apocalypse was verifiably happening, it was happening. It is a thing that was happening. THOR, Pirate Software, weighs in with his large, meaty brain and says, yeah, there's no apocalypse happening. That's not a thing. It's not happening. And that's all he says.
What?
Clips it and ships it. He was wrong.
Yeah, no, dude, the adpocalypse was seen literally, like, you could see the adpocalypse coming, like, 5 fucking years ago.
He was
like,
wrong.
The moment Dan Clancy came in and said that he was gonna try to make Twitch profitable again for people, the fucking adpocalypse was gonna happen.
Yeah.
Like, and then they made a whole bunch of wrong choices and then pissed off the people that were trying to put the ads, so they had like adpocalypse 2.0.
I mean, the comedy is anyone with common sense knew an adpocalypse was coming. Between the actually having like porn on a 13+ platform and having like terrorists on a 13+ platform, there was no way it was gonna end well.
Yeah.
And people actually lost their ads, and people reported on that, and Pirate Software confidently, smugly says, yeah, there's no adpocalypse happening. It's not a thing. They're all lying.
Yeah, I mean, it'll probably get itself fixed.
Yeah,
now,
probably.
But
Anyway,
yeah, there was definitely a time.
He did walk it back. He walked it back after he was confronted on stream by this guy, Devin Nash. Devin Nash owns an advertising agency, and he says that they're rejecting all of his advertisers don't want to advertise on Twitch. Like, he is the guy that connects Twitch with the ads. And he said there's an adpocalypse, and then Pirate Software is like, well, I guess we have different perspectives. Yeah, different perspectives. Yeah, my bristled toothbrush, differing perspectives.
Yeah, I do have I've dealt with people like this a few times before. Just because you're intelligent in something doesn't mean you're intelligent in everything. You are never intelligent in everything. And but there are definitely people out there who think that because they're intelligent.
So smugly though.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's pretty normal. Like, have you seen oh gosh, it reminds me of gosh dang, Disenchantment. Where the villain was like spoilers, where the villain was standing, she like runs a fucking church or whatever, and while she was preaching, she's like, all I have to do is say things confidently and you morons will believe me.
Well, he lives by that mantra, it seems. He says relatively lukewarm takes, and people believe him and think he's a genius because he says it so confidently. It is pretty good.
Does that to people, though, yeah.
True.
Speaking confidently, I mean, I speak confidently to you all the time, and you believe me. It's crazy.
I very rarely believe you.
You believe me all the time.
I consider the average thing you say being misinformation.
That's crazy, and you believe it. I do believe that
you're probably lying.
What?
I do believe that the things that you say are probably not necessarily true.
Me? The most truthful and humble of all the goddesses?
You have a way of painting things into a totally different color than they actually are. It's very cool.
I know, thank you. It's a masterpiece. I truly am a work of art. Anyways, continue.
Anyway.
Yeah, like that is I say continue, it silly cut you off. That is kind of the caveat though. Like, when you have that kind of personality, you are asking to get slapped a lot, because
that's the thing. He has to recognize that when the shit hits the fan, when people are going to come for him, they are not going to hold back.
Yep. Absolutely. Like, absolutely. Abso-fucking-lutely. Like, the worst kind of combination of personality quality traits is if you're extremely confident, but that confidence is actually arrogance, but then you're also thin-skinned. When you are all three of those things, that is like the worst quality, like human quality traits that you can have, because it's just so fundamentally annoying. Like, I talk all kinds of shit and I get clapped for it and I giggle. Like, because like,
but
I know I'm
the
being
thing.
a
You're
cheeky
self-aware.
little arrogant fuck.
You're self-aware and he's not.
Yep. Absolutely.
Anyway, speaking of not being self-aware, there is a puzzle game that came out, created by Video Game Donkey's studio, called Animal Well. It is a puzzle game with a lot of very complicated puzzles that apparently it took months in order for the community to actually crack all of them.
Hell yeah.
And, which is a pretty cool concept, honestly. So, anyway, he's playing Animal Well for the first time, and he looks at it and he's like, oh, these are 4 pixels, just like the 4 pixels in the other puzzle. Obviously, this goes here and that's like that. And he, like, solves things that took months that there's no fucking way he possibly figured it out by, oh, these 4 pixels and those 4 pixels probably are a match. And he came up with all this, and, like, you know, making believe he's a super genius, when realistically he probably looked up guides. And he keeps talking about how he is a super genius, in fact, and he did not, in fact, ever look up guides ever, which no one actually kind of believes. I personally don't. But maybe he is a super genius and I'm just, like, wrong. But again, from the perspective of this smug guy that's always trying to come across as the correct one, the knowledgeable one, the guy with 20 years of gaming experience because he was Nepo hired by Blizzard. Like, dude,
the thing,
no one's gonna take you seriously if this is gonna be your thing.
The problem in that particular circumstance, again, this is kind of my hot take that I've always been, I've been flagging for a while. Like, I always see YouTube and Twitch as content creation. Like, I see it as entertainment, and I can't say one. Yeah, I can't see one way or another. I don't know pirate software or particularly this situation that well. So it's hard for me to say if he looked up guides or not, but what I can say, and I know is very, very, very common in the video gaming sphere, is people will play games and then replay them on stream and pretend it's their first time ever playing them. And I think there is a fundamental level, like a blanket level, where people don't want to look like the fool online. Like, especially when it can be like, immortalized and stuff. I generally
and
have
also
fun.
I think people feel like if they prove they're a giga genius, I mean, it's just classic ego shit. I mean, Ludwig admitted like years later that he was cheating in Among Us. Like, he would play with Among Us with people, and he would like look at their streams to figure out who the imposter is, and he would like literally just cheat for content. And he admitted it.
And that's the thing. Like, I always look at just content creation as a form of entertainment. I never really look at a stream and think it's like 100% real. And I think there is a fundamental part in a lot of content creators where they don't want to consistently be made the fool. I tend to like being the fool. I like being the fool. So I do always usually, now my memory is always fuzzy because I play so many fucking video games. So sometimes I play a video game that I thought I hadn't or whatever. But like, I like that process of being an idiot, like doing stupid shit and being like, oh my gosh, like I can't believe I did that. But I do recognize that there's a lot of people who aren't a fan
the thing
of
is,
that.
By the way, I know exactly what you mean. Like, I'll give you an example. When Elden Ring came out and you had people playing Elden Ring for the first time, it was so exciting to watch their playthroughs because you knew for a fact they did not play this before. They're not faking it. These are genuine reactions. And I do know what you mean, for sure. And I also take things with a grain of salt. But it's like, it's just, again, it's the doubling down on even a baby would figure out that these 4 pixels are the correct answer. And it's like,
that's definitely unnecessary. Like, that's definitely unnecessary.
Again, I don't think he said those exact words, but like, that's the vibe, bro. The smug, careless attitude. Anyway, speaking of smug, careless attitude, we have to look at the catalyst for all this drama that actually happened.
Yeah, we gotta talk about the World of Warcraft one because I know that. So I know that situation.
All right, so please explain the World of Warcraft situation because this is really what kicked off this entire shit show.
I mean, to be frank, I've actually seen the clips and I'm actually kind of on Pirate Software's side on this one. Unless there's more that I'm unaware of.
You have to describe it to the viewers. What are you doing?
Okay. So, World of Warcraft. Now, I am my 20 years of World of Warcraft experience. Trust me, bro. World of Warcraft Classic is a remake, quote unquote, of the original World of Warcraft Vanilla. World of Warcraft Vanilla was fucking hard as balls. Now, or as a hard dick, I should say. Balls are pretty squishy. Anyways.
Valid, fair, valid.
What had happened and you can fill in the blanks on if I'm missing context here. They were doing hardcore run. In hardcore classic WoW, when you die, you die. This is insane because World of Warcraft in general, the old classic, is very brutal. So if you die, you're done. You delete your character. It sucks. It's tough. It's what it's meant to be, though. They were in a dungeon called Dire Maul. Dire Maul is notoriously a very hard dungeon. There is a lot in Classic. There's a lot of pats that are moving around, patrols. If you're not paying attention, if you don't pull something properly, you can pretty much expect a whole wipe in that. And from how I understand it, they were on the first boss, I believe, and they pulled the boss, but they forgot to get one of the pats. So they unintentionally pulled a pat and the boss at the same time. The tank, who is supposed to be the call-out guy. Tanks are generally always the ones that call out situations. They are usually the leads, whatever. He called run, run, run. He instantly acknowledged that the situation was a bad fucking situation and they needed to abort. Now, so everybody ran. Here's where things get a little like a little sticky. And I think this is the core of where a lot of controversy is popping up. Pirate Software heard run, and he ran. He was like, I'm out E5000. One of the
Roached
things,
out.
yeah, in a way, yeah. So like understandably roached out. Now, here's the thing.
And
in
two
a
people
hardcore,
ended up dying in this dungeon.
Yeah. Now, I did hear, I don't know if this is true or not, but I did hear that the two people that ended up dying actually didn't have any problems with this. So it was like a whole bunch of controversy about other people were pointing and saying. But
basically, the
hardcore
controversy seemed to be people said that you roached out, you ran away, you shouldn't have run away. Like, you saw we were all in there, you could have stayed by us. And he said I was out of mana. And then people found out that he was not, in fact, out of mana. And, whatever.
So that's actually incorrect. At least from the clip I saw, he was definitely out of mana.
Okay. Again, I've never played WoW. I don't know.
Yeah.
All I know is that you had these two perspectives. I think Asmongold also said that he was right. That Pirate Software, like, the guy said run and he ran and he was right. And I saw a lot of people on the other side, like the soda poppin' type crowd. Again, I don't know any of these people, but they said that he was in fact wrong and he could have contributed and helped and maybe stopped the death of some of the characters. And I don't know. I have no.
Well, and that's where a lot of this is the gray area where I see a lot of the core of the controversy coming in. Now, when you're in a hardcore run, so okay, I like in vanilla WoW was extremely savage. Like, if you pulled 2 pats, if a respawn happened behind you and you weren't aware, you were dead. End of story. You had a 30-minute run back. So getting from WoW to 60 was like, I think it originally took me 3 months. 3 months of no lifing World of Warcraft to get from 1 to fucking 60 at the time. Yeah, it's brutal because of how it was insanely brutal. So Classic is obviously a reimagining of that. It's extremely hardcore. The hardcore element of it is if you die, you lose all that time and energy. Now, I don't think it takes 3 months. There's a lot of like quality of life things that they added into Classic to make it a little easier. But it's still a huge time sink, right? And it feels awful. Dire Maul is notoriously known as one of the harder original dungeons back in the day. What he could have potentially did, because people can die and they lose their accounts, the argument that people are having is that he could have tried to help. As a frost mage, he could have slowed, he could have tried to like CC some of the mobs to kind of like create distance for people so they would be able to like get ahead and run. That is under the concept that he did have mana. He didn't really have mana. Maybe he could have like, in theory, he might have been able to like conjure a frostbolt or something like that, which is true. However, there is a big fucking thing to be said. The call was made.
Yeah.
By the tank. He said,
I get
run.
I get you.
Run.
So let me ask you a question then. Let's say he was correct and he should have ran and he did run and these people died and then they said, why didn't you at least help and stuff like that? In my opinion, let's say that happens and he thinks that he made the right choice. If I was a human being with empathy, which I'm not, as we know, but if I was, I would be like, I'm sorry it happened. It really sucks. I wish I could have helped. It was a shitty situation, and that was I heard the call run, and I ran, and I'm sorry. That's what I would say if I was a normal human. See, Pirate Software, again, his literal ego is his major issue here. He says,
response.
I literally did nothing wrong. What are you talking about?
The response.
Like, you guys, it's literally your fault. It's not my problem at all. Like, it's your problem. I'm not going to apologize. I'm not going to take any blame at all. And I think that's really what made all these people really annoyed.
I think that's exactly what the powder keg was. And I think that's, at least from what I heard from Soda Poppin', I don't watch Soda Poppin' too much anymore, but I watched him back in, well, arguably funny enough, back in like the vanilla days and everything like that. Shout out Soda Poppin', Feral Druid, ha ha ha. But anyways, it sounds like when I was watching the clips of Soda Poppin's POV, it does sound exactly like you said. It seemed like his personality was rubbing people the wrong way. And in those clips, I definitely can see that being the case.
And I
right?
think that really is basically it in a nutshell. Because even if he was wrong, and he shouldn't have run, and he did the wrong thing, and he roached out, and because of that they died, even if that was true, they wouldn't have kicked him out. He would have apologized, and shit would have just moved on. But because he didn't apologize, he took no blame, he blamed everyone else, he said, like, it's like, literally, I am the goat here, you guys are all fools, swine. Even if he is correct, it's such an annoying attitude, and no one wants to deal with that shit. These are people playing a video game. You know, they're doing this for fun and entertainment purposes. Like, get off your goddamn high horse and sit with the mortals for a minute.
And that's exactly it. Like, anybody who knows. Running a guild in World of Warcraft is arguably harder than running a fucking business sometimes. Like, in understanding morale and all that stuff, if you have the best player in the game acting extremely arrogant and egotistical and just showing no empathy, that will arguably destroy the morale of pretty much every other person. Nobody will want to play with that person because people just don't like to hear it all the time. Like, even with so even if he's right, which actually I do think he was right, if the tank calls run, and I do see where their mistake happened, I watched the clip, like, the run was called, the team started running away, they decided to stop midway. Pirate Software continued to run, but a group of, like, the other 4 decided to stop and try to recover. They shouldn't have done that. They should have kept running. End of story, no questions asked. If your leader says run, you don't look back.
I appreciate your insight. That's why we have you here. I never played WoW, but yeah,
but you're right. You're right on that, because in that circumstance, at the end of it all, he should have had some empathy. I think that is the core of what caused this to turn into such a big powder keg.
But the thing is, that is the core of basically every single controversy he's been in so far. And, like, that's the craziest thing, except for the heartbound potentially not paying people back or taking his time with the game. I think that one is definitely, like, that's a pretty shitty thing. However, but the rest of it, almost every single one, the bragging about years of experience at Blizzard, claiming that he's a goat of gaming there because he worked at Blizzard, the fake deep voice puberty at 33 shit, shutting down all forms of criticism, asking him about his past or anyone that doesn't call him Thor or stuff like that. His argument against stop killing games, his cheating, potential cheating in Animal Well, like, it's all just ego. It's all ego. That is literally every single controversy he's been in, is just his ego was too big. Bro could
and a
not
lack of empathy.
Walk off of his pedestal for 2 seconds.
And a genuine lack of empathy.
I think the lack of empathy, honestly, I think that's a symptom. I think that's just a symptom of the ego thing. It's like,
probably.
Like, why should I apologize and feel bad for them? I made the right call, they made the wrong call. Like, I think it comes from an ego perspective as well. That's just armchair psychologist Nuxanor. Pay no attention.
No, definitely listen to it, because, like, I'm not a fool. Like, I'm an extremely egotistical person. I'm an extremely overconfident person in my abilities and everything that I do. But I still, without fail.
She won't believe it, but she gives terrible head.
Excuse you?
And let's just move on. Let's not talk. Let's not talk about it.
Don't listen to
Some
him.
discussions don't need to be had.
It was such great head that it blew his mind and he forgot about the experience.
Let's move on.
That's how great it was.
Let's not talk about this.
But
take the L.
Like, there is no L that is taken here. This is the biggest dub that you've ever experienced in your life. But, like, that's the thing. If you're going to be a confident or egotistical person, like, being thin-skinned makes it not fun anymore. Like, if you lack empathy, it becomes agitating.
Look, as long as you keep winning, ego's great.
Yeah,
but if you lose once, that house of cards will fall down really quickly.
Yeah, exactly. And like, I do absolutely think that this specifically, in all the controversy, except potentially the heartbound one, like, all the controversies, it is exactly that. His ego with the lack of empathy is what is causing all this stuff to get people to be like, just stop being a jackass. like
I don't know. Get off your high horse, bro. Like, you don't know everything. You're not the GOAT of all time.
Yeah, because
leave it alone.
Even in that scenario, like I would have probably taken like if I was the Frost Mage in that scenario, if I heard run, I would have fucking ran. And if I got called out like they did, they're like, well, why did you run? Blah, blah, blah. I'd be like, you called me to run. And I'm sorry that everybody died and it was a mess of a situation, but I kind of did what you told me to do.
And yes, I saw people didn't run, and maybe it was a little bit cowardly, but run was called. So I ran.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry.
Well, it's when you're playing WoW, running when called is not the coward move.
But anyway, after all this happened, and basically everyone called him out for being a roach, Asmongold defended him for being correct, and he then did a collab with Asmongold. I think they talked about Path of Exile, or something, or one of those like video game things that the young ones play these days.
Path of Exile is old as hell, but yeah, continue.
I don't know. They were discussing one of these newer. I don't remember which video game
it might have been Path of Exile too. That just came out.
I don't remember which one
they discussed.
I know, you're
ignorant. It's okay.
But because that was not the point. The point is he discussed with Asmongold.
My beautiful little slop content creator. You're just uncultured in the way of the video games.
Everyone thinks says slop content like it's some kind of slur. It's literally the GOAT. There is nothing better than slop content.
I'm just saying that you don't know anything about my...
Everyone that says that, oh, you do slop content, they wish they could be entertaining like me for hours at an end.
Yeah, Nux loves sloppy seconds. Got it.
Anyway, I prefer sloppy firsts. But anyway,
sure.
After he did this collab with Asmongold, talking about some video game, whichever one the fuck it was, he ended up getting canceled on Twitter because he collabed with Asmongold. Asmongold, the far-right political extremist. He reacts to Trump, you know. So anyway, bro got flamed for that, and he made like this apology tweet where he basically says, I think it's important to have discussions about video games with other people in the space, regardless of their opinions in other places, and you know, like basically this whole long tweet. I don't condone anything, but at the same time, it was a discussion. It was not like, you know, honestly, if I was him, I would have probably just ignored it because it's like nothing, or at least made fun of it.
Yeah.
Because like if you are getting so bent out of shape because I talked to a guy that has an opinion that you don't like, well then, with all due respect, you're a bitch.
Yeah, I hate politics getting in my video games. I mean, I've made that very loud and clear. The moment somebody would be like, if I collaborate with Asmongold and talk about World of Warcraft, and people are like, he's right-leaning, I'll be like, yeah, hey, I'm a gamer. I'm gamer political.
Well,
like,
I hope you're ready, Hermes, because next week's episode of the Unhinged podcast, we're talking about Assassin's Creed Shadows. So do some reading.
I'm gonna need to play a game if we're talking about that. Holy! I just had a conversation about. I literally had a conversation about that like 2 days ago in chat.
So, but anyway, the point is, in this specific drama specifically, I think that Pirate Software got the short end of the stick. He got canceled for no reason. He collabed with Asmongold and people canceled him for it. All right, bitches on Twitter are gonna be bitches. He was under the fire because of the WoW roaching. So instantly, the Asmongold thing happens. They just found another thing to jump on him for. It was like such a massive, huge, throbbing nothing burger. And they still went for him for it. And I honestly think that you could collab with basically anybody for the most part, unless there's someone that is actually actively promoting like radically extreme ideas. I'll give you an example. I think that Pirate Software collabing with Asmongold is nowhere nearly as bad as every single massive Twitch streamer sucking Hassan's meat when he platforms terrorists uncritically. Like, it's just such a wild brain rot. Like, people are going to be okay with the Hassan thing, but, like, did you talk to Asmongold? You know he reacts to Orange Man. Like, it's such an, like, unbelievably stupid take. And, finally...
Maybe that's what will inevitably get me canceled. Because, like, legitimately speaking, I invested, like, I no-lifed World of Warcraft for a very long time. And if there is ever an opportunity where, like, I can collab with Asmongold just to talk about World of Warcraft and what like our experience back in the day, but like what it's also become in present day and everything, I would 100% say yes. I would be like, let's just sit and talk about World of Warcraft and our experience as no life sweaty World of Warcraft players.
I mean, to be
And
fair,
if
you already
anybody
made that
came in-
clear by the fact that you
and if-
collab with me. I'm also a relatively
Is it true?
controversial figure out here. I'm not as big as Asmongold, so it's
True.
obviously not going to like get as much traction. But I am still a relatively controversial guy. You still collab with me.
I always forget that you're controversial, truth be told.
It's funny because like unless it is very funny because none of my friends like remember that I'm controversial until like they see like one of those viral tweets calling me out for something stupid.
That's probably also why I never realized, because I avoid social, like Twitter and Reddit and stuff like the plague. Like
Yeah,
it doesn't even
I am
exist in my
apparently
sphere.
controversial though.
Oh, congratulations!
I
Proud of
know.
you.
Honestly, it means I'm doing something right. All these pussies, no opinions, no controversies. What are you even doing out here on the internet? Losers,
Yeah, like,
wannabes, all of them.
and that's what like I would just be like, I'm gamer political. I care about video games. I care about what video games represent. I care about that. I don't like, I'm so fed up with this like hyper political timeline that we're in right now. Like,
Well, the good news is next week, Assassin's Creed Shadows episode is going to be huge. But I wanted to, speaking of video games, I wanted to wrap up with one final video game that is going to be, you know, important to the Pirate Software legacy. There's a video game made by an indie developer that basically made a video game kind of referencing different streamers and like taking little pot shots at different streamers. One of the streamers was Pirate Software, where his character was a roach. You know, it was a little pot shot. So what does THOR, also known as Moldavia's Fig Tree, do? He copyright strikes the guy. He takes the game down. The game is gone. He copyrighted him. He's threatening to take him to court over it because he used his likeness, which is kind of funny, but because it's a roach. But he actually copyrighted him. This is not a violation of copyright, by the way. It is 100% transformative and fair use. He has every right to do it. You're a public figure. He is not literally stealing your content. He is making fun of you, which, by the way, is not violating copyright. You are abusing copyright to silence a guy making fun of you. It's despicable. I hate it so much. Violating copyright is disgusting because it's happened to me so many times. So many times you try to copyright this video, I will fucking fight you on that. God damn.
Hot.
But
I just want to see that. I'll pay to see that.
Because he has so much hair and such a nice voice. But anyway, so he does this whole thing. This part, for some reason, I saw a lot of videos talking about Pirate Software. No one actually really talks about this instance, which I think is the worst thing on the list. The worst thing on the list.
I would actually agree on that.
I mean, I think second bad is Heartbound. The fact that it's nebulous what's happening with that video game that he promised and he had like a whole GoFundMe for. I don't know where that money went. I don't know when this video game is coming out. He promised it a bunch of I don't know. But this, you are taking down an indie dev's game, a random little game developer. You are bullying him with copyright because he made fun of you?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Like, bro, grow up, man. What are you doing?
Even in that circus, because like, okay, back to the fact that if I was the mage, I would have done literally the exact same thing he did.
Not the point.
No, it is. Let me finish.
Oh my god.
I would have literally been like, I would have shown my empathy or whatever, because at the end of the day, I think a lot of the problem is the fact that he just showed no empathy. I agree. But I would have showed empathy. At the end of the day, you of course people are gonna make fun of that. Like,
take a little blame. Take a little goddamn blame, even if it's not your fault. Make them feel better and take some blame.
But here's the thing. Of course, no. Even if I had the greatest ironclad argument, I already know that people would make fun of me for those actions. They of course are gonna see me as a roach or whatever else. Let have their fun. Let them poke their jabs. I don't see it as a big deal.
It's not a big deal. Unless you are a being made of ego. Then it's a big deal. A fake deep voice, second puberty at 33 sounding motherfucker.
And that's like, and it's almost kind of sad to see that happen. Well, it is sad to see that happen because back to the throwback to the very original statement, Blizzard worked with South Park to make the South Park episode. The literal South Park episode was episode. WoW. South Park worked with World of Warcraft to make the World of Warcraft episode. that episode was literally poking
Making
fun
fun.
and making fun of his dad, apparently.
Literally.
Like,
Yes.
yeah, literally, blatantly, obviously. And his like dad took it in good fun and as, you know, it is what it is kind of thing. And yeah, like if it and that's what kind of makes this even sadder, because if I was him and looked at that, I'd be like, all right, yeah, okay, that was a good jab. I get it. You're calling me a roach. Like, ha ha ha. Like, especially with how heavy-handed it's South Park. Like, they don't pull punches when they're making fun of things. Like, and South Park made a lot of fun with that. They made a lot of jabs and everything about that, about like World of Warcraft, smelly, sweaty World of Warcraft players back in the day. And like his dad didn't sue South Park. His dad
was all for it.
Yeah, like his dad didn't copyright strike South Park. Like,
yeah,
and to see like
and honestly,
his son.
That's like a huge fall off. You're right. I did look at it from the perspective of like coming from the son of the South Park guy. But like, you're right. And it's incredibly lame. And it's someone whose ego got away from them. And honestly, that is going to be the source of their destruction. I mean, I'm not a sociopath per se, but I do very much love and am fascinated by downfalls of different individuals. What causes these downfalls? Now, some people will do something actually disgusting, right? You got a fucking pedophile, they have a downfall. It's not, you don't have to scratch your head why that guy had a downfall. Now, it's pretty open and dry. But sometimes, death by 1,000 paper cuts, and you could actually put together some kind of analysis, like look into the psyche of this, by all metrics, incredibly successful influencer. He's streaming in front of 10,000 people right now while we're recording this. He has a huge YouTube channel with millions of views on that YouTube channel. He's an incredibly successful, respected-ish guy, and he's getting fried more and more every time. And honestly, you could see that dilapidation and self-destruction literally just stemming from ego.
Yeah. Yep. And I, you know, interestingly enough, influence is power. And I think it's a subtle kind of corrosion that happens where as you grow and grow and grow and you have so many people constantly telling you you're right, you're right, you're right, it becomes this almost fuels the ego, right? Where if you're not self-aware, I think people get caught up in the tidal wave. And I think if it kind of starts reinforcing your like negative qualities and showing up more and more. This is why I think like a lot of extremely like rich people too start surrounding themselves with yes men. Right? Because they don't like criticism. They don't want to hear the opposing side. They want people to tell them they're right because, hey, they're successful. They have a shit ton of money. They know better kind of thing. And I think
Logan Paul, definitely upload this video of the suicide forest. It's a wonderful idea.
Yeah. And I think the same can be said for influence. And I think if you don't have a very sharp ability to be able to self-evaluate your own actions, I think you start drowning in your own ego. And
I
becomes
do agree.
Arrogance.
Self-evaluation is important. I think it's a mix of things. I don't think it's just self-evaluation. I really just think it's like,
always a mix of everything.
It's like ego bubbling over. It's a lack of and dude, you know how easy it is to roll with the punches sometimes? Someone will call me cringe. You know what my first response is? Hell yeah, I'm cringe. If I would get offended every time someone called me cringe, I wouldn't have a career. Okay?
Yeah.
But anyway, also, which I didn't touch on, there are allegations about him, like of sexual allegations in regards to back when he worked at Blizzard, but I couldn't find anything verifiable about that, so I didn't really want to mention it because I have no idea. But most importantly, we have reached the 69-minute mark of this week's episode of the podcast.
Your favorite number.
Which means this is it. Thanks for joining episode 15 of 69 or whatever the number is in the description of the podcast.
Can we get an actual applause because he actually managed to fit something in a 69-minute time frame? Normally we go over and then he's yelling at me 24/7. He's like, hurry up, Hermes.
I literally worked it out perfectly. It was brilliant. My planning, my time management, it was fantastic. My ego was getting out of hand. I could feel my voice getting deeper. Dude, my second puberty is going to hit like a fucking truck, bitch.
Oh, you're not. Does that mean I'm going to be the only nasally person here?
Probably not.
That's gonna
Probably
be upset.
not. Remember
though.
my heritage.
I'll have to also. I'll turn into a valley girl. When your balls drop a second time, I'll become a valley girl. How about that?
That's a fantastic idea. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you guys. Next week, episode of the Unhinged podcast will be about Assassin's Creed Shadows, unless something crazy happens in between. Stay weird, fam.